What's up? What's up?
Hey,
What's going on? What's going on, man? Happy Thanksgiving. It is officially Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
happy Thanksgiving, my dude. It's been too long. Life sometimes has a way of taking our time, and you just got to find a way to take it back.
Exactly. So, um, it is one of the best Thursday weeks of NFL football,
It's true.
where you get 3 games of NFL
Mm-hmm.
matchups. And the matchups actually be very competitive during the holidays. So today we have the Bears versus the Lions at 12:30, Raiders at Dallas at 4:30, and Bills at Saints at 8:20 tonight.
Mm.
All good matchups. So if you guys are doing like pick 'em, thinking things like that, I think it's a little difficult. So it was a little difficult for me because I'm not sure exactly who to pick. Not exactly who to pick, but I did go with I went for the Lions for the upset against the Bears, and of course I got to go with the Raiders. Got to go with the Raiders. I refuse to go with Dallas. Me being a me being a homer, and everything, and then of course I have the Saints upsetting the Bills. The
Ooh,
Bills has been
yeah.
on a the Bills have been on a bit of a slouch. So hopefully, going inside of New Orleans, it's we'll see what happens.
This is true. This is very true. Honestly, ah, wouldn't this be weird if this is the year that the Thanksgiving teams lose when historically they win?
Yes, yeah.
Doesn't it just kind of feel like that year?
Yeah. It does feel like that. Yeah, like we've seen the Lions lose a lot of Thanksgiving games. So
Sorry,
but
guys. Forgive me.
one
I have decided to spill my pop randomly. So sorry. We're good now.
so one of the one of the things that really stands out to me, right, is the significance of what these two teams exactly needs to win. So the Bears and the Lions, both teams are in a bit of a drought,
Yeah.
which both coaches are on a hot seat.
Yep.
Both coaches are on a hot seat right now. Bill Nagy. Rumors are out there that says that if the Bears lose today, Nagy might be out of a job.
Ooh.
It's just a rumor, but I don't know. I don't know. Condor, would you think? What do you think about this?
You know, uh, it's hard for me. Okay, let me put this into perspective from my thought process here. So Miami currently was going through a drought too. Everyone said Brian Flores is on the hot seat. He needs to go. I said hold the presses. Matt Nagy has times when you see he has the ability to be a good coach. I think he needs to have the right personnel, and they need to be mature. He has a lot of young personnel.
Okay.
He's dealing with some injuries. I mean, a lack of David Montgomery in the backfield is going to hurt you. That team is so much better when he's healthy in the backfield. They can run the ball, they can do a lot more, and take the pressure off of young rookie quarterback when he's in. Andy Dalton's not going to be the answer. He's never going to be the answer. Anybody who thinks he's the answer, sorry for you. It's not going to happen. He had his time in Cincinnati. He couldn't win playoff games. That is the definition of Andy Dalton. He's not even going to get you to playoff games anymore.
But
This
then you got
team's
but then you
go ahead.
got Nicky Nick, right?
Right.
So honestly, I would have went with Nick Foles instead of Andy Dalton. Me per se, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I would rather go with Nick Foles than Andy Dalton. Me per se, some people might believe that Andy Dalton is far more better than Nick Foles.
right.
I I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I've seen exactly Nick Foles overcame adversity and beat Tom Brady. We've
Right.
seen this happen. We've witnessed this happen.
It's true.
Andy Dalton just doesn't have that track record. He just doesn't have that track record. So, um, just me per se, I probably would have started Nick Foles over Andy Dalton, and
I
I
don't
think
know
that
why they're not starting Nick Foles.
yeah, I'm not sure why. I don't see anything listed as injury wise or
Yeah,
anything. So it's a bit of a head scratcher for me. There's a lot of people saying that Andy Dalton, like I said, is far more better. Me personally, he didn't show that last season in Dallas, and he's is nothing about Andy Dalton right now that really shows me that he is capable of being a fill-in for Justin Fields until he gets
he's
healthy back again.
he's just as inconsistent as Justin Fields, and Justin Fields a rookie. He has an excuse if you ever want to give one. You don't want to give excuses, in football. You want people to show growth, and I think you've seen growth when Fields is healthy and he has time. You see it. He can make the plays, not just with his feet, but he can make the throws. Um,
Absolutely.
but to go back to your original question real quick about the whole Matt Nagy thing. Ride it out. Ride out the end of the season. Let him just finish out the year. Look what this team will look like at the end of the season. Do they look like they got better in the year? Are they going to continue to improve? Or is this just going to be an uphill battle, kind of slugging through it? Yeah, they get a win here and there, and then they go on losing streaks. Like, if you see consistency at the end of the season when this team's starting to click, you might have something coming year two for Justin Fields. I mean, this is going to be his team. Now, if Fields doesn't come and take the job next year, then you have a question about Fields. But we're not there yet. We're at the let this thing ride out with Nagy, see what's going on with the team, decide then.
I agree. Nothing against that. Like I said, I personally would have started Nick Foles over Andy Dalton. But if Andy Dalton do give the ball up a lot, I think we might be seeing Nick Foles at some point in time in this game. But right now, I just don't. I don't see where Nagy's vision is right now. His vision is very blind. It's blindsided right now. So, and I think that him being on the hot seat, he's just going off impulse.
It's
Not instinct,
definitely
but impulse.
yes, it's definitely ruining his ability to properly game plan each week. Think critically, I guess you could say. You have all that pressure on you. Obviously, we can't say we understand the magnitude of that, but we understand that this dude's job's on the line. It's time to perform or get out the way.
So here's the question, though. While we're talking about Nagy, we've seen the production with Justin Fields, and we've seen the overall production with the team. Would you say that the issue with Mitchell Trubisky was Mitchell Trubisky, or did Nagy had a bigger part inside of Mitchell Trubisky not being in Chicago anymore?
I think that's a personal thing. I don't think it was Trubisky couldn't play. I think that there was something between the coaches, Nagy and Trubisky, that they all didn't mesh together. Sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes you have talented guys that don't ever get a shot because they don't ever get in the right situation. Look at the guys who do get in the right situations who are starting to flourish. Look at Justin Herbert's rookie season. That was the perfect situation. He had all the weapons you could ask for. There's just certain guys you get put in bad situations. Cam Newton in New England, in my opinion, was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It was the worst. It was the worst matchup.
Yes.
It was the worst relationship matchup ever. It just seems like everything was out of place.
It was not nice.
Cam Newton under the vision of Bill Belichick. We thought that we would never see anything like it before, right? I think Cam Newton thrives. I think Cam Newton thrives off of coaches like Matt Rule and Ron Rivera, et cetera, right?
Yep.
So when you see him actually under a coach like Bill Belichick, it's a different type of environment, right? There's a standard that Bill Belichick holds.
More confined.
Exactly. And Bill Belichick didn't really allow Cam to be Cam on the
Right.
field. He
It's
didn't
true.
really allow Cam to be Cam. And you've seen with the Panthers game, despite them losing against Washington,
Hmm.
you can see where Matt Rule was like, just be you. Be the Cam Newton that I know you can be, and you will be
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes, they did lose the game. They did lose the game, but Cam Newton also had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. So,
We'll get into that. We'll get into that shortly. Trust me, we're going to touch on that a little more. I
so
want to take us back real quick to this Chicago Detroit. Wrap it up. We'll move on to the next one.
okay.
Chicago's favored by 3. That right there says that they believe it's going to be a real tight game. Again, I don't. This is gonna. Here's a take of the day, folks. I don't think Andy Dalton can outperform Jared Goff, and that's crazy. Now you see why I'm laughing.
So I'm glad you said that because I was having a conversation with one of my buddies the other day, and he was we were doing the pick'em. We're inside of this pick'em league, and I chose the Lions over the Bears, and he called me crazy because he was like, "You don't seriously think Jared Goff can really pull it off?" And I was like,
It's gonna happen.
"Well, here's the thing about Jared Goff, right? We might not like Jared Goff,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really think he was put inside of the best situation since he came inside of the league.
Nope.
And I just think that if had he been put in a better situation to win and progress, like Ryan Tannehill, for instance, I think that Jared Goff would be far more better than what he is right now. I mean, you gotta think about it. He came from a playoff contender team to a team who's not used to winning at all.
Yep.
So it was kind of like, since you're Jared Goff, we're just going to send you to the Lions, and let's just hope we change the Lions franchise around. Which doesn't matter what quarterback you send there, the Lions is going to be bad regardless.
You're not okay. You're not changing mediocrity in a city that's been terrible for years in a year. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I've been telling people that about Miami. They've been mediocre for 20 years. You can't fix it in 3. You just can't.
Yeah.
Look at the bigger picture. But there's just Jared Goff has what he needs in this game. There's no Khalil Mack. That defense is hurt.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift is there. You're gonna have a run game,
and he's actually on the top of the charts as far as running backs in the league right now.
He's playing phenomenal.
If I'm not mistaken, he's arguably top 15 as far as running backs in the NFL right now.
100%.
When Swift came in the league, we didn't think that he would be the guy because he came in under Kerryon Johnson. He came in under Kerryon Johnson, and
wasn't that in Georgia?
Yeah.
See, here's my thing about these SEC powerhouse teams. When they get really good talent, sometimes you don't look at quarterbacks for Alabama. I hate saying it, but look at Jalen Hurts, look at Mac Jones, look at Tua. They're all starting quarterbacks. They all play pretty damn good football. Look at the running backs that have come out of that place. DeAndre Swift was obviously in a stacked running back room. Look at the wide receiver room that we just got out of that place.
Yeah.
Like sometimes these teams, they just have so much talent. Maybe Kerryon was better at certain parts in college, but now we're seeing DeAndre be better in the pros than Johnson.
Yeah.
And
honestly, that's how most of the time that's how it actually is. I mean, you got to look at Dalvin Cook, right?
Oh, man. Dude's a stud.
Dalvin Cook. You know how it goes when it comes to these running backs, right? It was Dalvin Cook, then afterwards was Najee Harris.
Dude, Najee. Oh man, that guy.
And we usually don't see back-to-back caliber running backs from Alabama.
No.
So with Dalvin Cook coming into the league, and despite the injury that he had, he still is top 5 running back
Yep.
in the league. And then after he left, Najee Harris came along. And now Najee Harris is on point to being rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. So, I mean, I think right now, I think the Lions has a little bit of the talent, to pull off this win against the Bears. Like you said, the Bears defense is injured. Jared Goff has a chip on his shoulder, and I think that chip will be eaten. They are winless right now. They are 0-9.
If you can play close with the Pittsburgh Steelers team, I mean, people can argue the point all they want. The Steelers are the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. You're going to get a tough defense who's going to play hard for 4 quarters. They might not have the offense with Big Ben, but if Detroit can play with them for 4 quarters, Detroit can easily come out and beat Chicago in 4 quarters. But I think it starts with here's the keys: running the ball, taking care of your opportunities when you get them, and winning the turnover battle will be the keys for Detroit getting the win today.
All right, so we both got Detroit for this game. Next game,
I'm taking Detroit by 7. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Detroit by 7. You know what? I said for the upset, I'm taking Detroit by 14.
Woo!
I think Jared Goff going to have 3 passing touchdowns today. He's just going to break out. He's going to be the Jared Goff that we used to see when he came with the Rams. You seen he didn't really have a breakout season, but he had a great season, for his rookie year. So I definitely think that Jared Goff can definitely pull one off. I think the Lions is going to win by 2 scores. So, yeah, they are 0-9-1. They did have a tie. That's right.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like that. There's games, they say there's no moral victories in this league, but there's sometimes a team needs a close battle like that to start to turn that corner. There's just those games again, like you start to put it together. And once the team and the players start to see that it's being put together, they're like, oh, this does work. Like when it works and it's successful, they want to do it. They want to keep going. If you're constantly losing and it's failing, like it's hard to get on a program that isn't successful.
Right. Like a tie is a tie, but a tie for a team that is winless is actually a victory.
Yes.
It's actually a victory. Lions by 7 and Lions by 14. 4:30 Eastern on CBS. We have the Raiders versus the Cowboys. The Raiders will be in the AT&T Stadium. I got the Raiders, and here's why. The Raiders was able to knock off the Chiefs with no issues. They were able to knock off the Chiefs, and the Chiefs knocked off the Cowboys like a bad habit last week. I think we've officially seen the identity of Dallas, and that identity is not having Amari Cooper on the field. Dallas is definitely in a bit of a pinch right now because I'm not sure if CeeDee Lamb will be available to play. He had a concussion the last game.
He is questionable. Says he's Lamb, who's questionable for Thursday's game against the Rams, won't clear the NFL's 5-step concussion protocol ahead of the 4:30 and is set to be inactive for the contest.
Okay, so
no CeeDee Lamb,
that's another
no Amari Cooper. Like you're gonna have to ride on a guy who hasn't been able to be your bell cow in how many seasons? Like, are we really talking about Ezekiel Elliott still being a top 5 running back? Because I don't see it.
I mean, here's what I can say, right? I think Ezekiel Elliott is as good as the game plan that Mike McCarthy and the offensive coordinator, I keep forgetting his name, Kellen Moore. I think he is as good as their game plan. Their game plan allows every week. You see, 1 week Ezekiel Elliott gets over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then another week, you see Ezekiel Elliott run 20 times for 15, 20 yards. So it's all about the game plan that they come in with. That they come in with against the Raiders, and right now, not having Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and having to rely on Cedric Wilson and Michael Gallup and I keep forgetting the kid's name, number 85. It's kind of it's a little difficult because you're not sure exactly how that production is going to develop. You know,
Yep.
and now we would have to see how Dak Prescott uh, persevere through the injuries right now. And also, they have a few offensive linemen that's injured too. I'm not sure if Tyron Smith is available to play today either. So there's
Right.
there's some holes on that offensive line as well. And this Raiders defense, you know,
They can
they,
show up.
yeah, their front seven is definitely workhorse. So
Crosby and them boys are pretty tough.
yeah, so I mean, this would be a tough game for Dallas, but I'm taking the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders by 14.
Man, you just got some blowouts today, bud.
Yeah, I just don't think that their Dallas defense has definitely shown exactly who they are. You know,
They
they've
definitely
definitely
showed
shown
some
who they are.
weakness. They
Yeah,
for sure have. That's right. I mean, they're again. We don't want to give excuses, but this injury report they have, oh boy, they've lost tons of people.
yeah,
At the same time, next man up. We're seeing that this team, the starting caliber or the starters on this team are solid, but the backups are not starting caliber, and that's what's going to hurt it. It's you don't have depth at key positions, and you're starting to get exposed to those positions. And I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, you you got an injury riddled defense. You're favored by 7.5. You're at home. I get it. But this Raiders team, they've had all this controversy the last couple, month and a half, 2 months. Things not necessarily going the way that they want. They're not playing super solid when it comes to, their game plan and getting everything taken care of that they need. But today is Thanksgiving. Today is the day when you have those random moments where teams just play solid. I remember growing up, obviously, Miami fan, whatever, but I remember us being terrible and come in with Joey Harrington and beat Detroit on Thanksgiving. And he's just smashing pie afterwards. This is Derek Carr we're talking about. I think Derek Carr is all about the moment of playing on Thanksgiving. Like, NFL players honestly love playing on Thanksgiving. So if he can go out there and just have a moment, he's going to. So I'm saying Derek Carr is going to throw 3 touchdowns today, and Darren Waller is going to have 2 of them.
mm, that's risky business. Risky business.
It's
So,
happening.
I definitely want to just throw this out here, right? Rankings as far as both teams. Cowboys is second as far as offense.
Yep.
Raiders is 16th.
Yep.
Dallas is 16th in defense. Raiders is 13th. Passing, Raiders is third, and Dallas is fifth. And the rushing game, with the inconsistent absence of the running backs and over there in Las Vegas, they have been 29th in rushing. So they for some way, shape, or form, they have to establish some type of running game today. That would definitely help Derek Carr out, and you have to be able to keep this dominant front seven of Dallas. You just have to keep them off the field. You have to just do something about not allowing Michael Parsons to get
Run
ahead.
rampant. Yep.
So this game will be very interesting. I believe they got. I believe they have. I believe they have. What's the spread on this?
7.5 favored by Dallas.
Oh wow! Really?
Yep.
Hmm.
Honestly, so like I was saying, I think Derek Carr is going to have a big day, but Dallas is going to escape by 3, last second field goal.
Okay. Okay.
Ouch, I know. His moment's going to get robbed so Dallas can continue their momentum.
That's interesting. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. I gotta throw them twists out there, you know?
Yep. Um, and then we have a Thursday night special,
Oh, man. This
which
is
is
going
the
to be good.
Bills. The Bills are in New Orleans. The Bills being 6-4, and the Saints is 5-5.
Uh-huh.
So this is pretty much all the marbles here. We definitely get to see, two teams who are powerhouse right now. Just go ahead and smash it out, and it's going to be in New Orleans. Trevor Simeon, never thought we hear that name ever again. But Trevor Simeon is slated to be the starting quarterback for the Saints, and he has been doing rather well. Recently,
It's
he has been
true.
doing rather well with the absence of Jameis Winston. And so the question is what Bills team are we going to get? Are we going to get the mediocre Bills, or are we going to get 11? Are we going to get the 11-5 Bills that we got last season?
So, Bills are favored 6.5. There's a lot of little things here. Teron Armstead is questionable for the game. Mark Ingram is questionable for the game. There's a lot of moving pieces here for the Saints that, might not be there, which then sets up the perfect foothold for this darn Buffalo team to snap this streak. Go in here, step on them, walk on out the door. And fortunately, it's looking like that's what's going to potentially happen. Would I love nothing more for Buffalo to lose again tonight? You damn right. I love nothing more to watch that team go from the high that they were riding down to 6-5, and have Miami that much closer on their heels.
So, do you think that it can happen? Do you think the Saints can really knock off the Bills? I mean, it's a big upset. It's a
It
big upset,
is.
but there's nothing right now that really jumps out to me about the Saints overcoming the Bills. I mean, the Bills right now have adversity, and I think they're going to overcome that today.
Yep.
I think they're going to overcome that today. I think that we're going to see everybody knock that rust off for the last couple of weeks, and I think Josh Allen is definitely going to have a breakout game today.
But I can never count out Sean Payton. You really can't. Sean Payton always finds a way to surprise you at times.
Do we really?
We do. And you know what's going to happen? Saints by 10.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to go along those lines. I'm going to be a little different than what I have been the last two games. I think the Bills going to come out on top by 3.
Ooh.
I think it's going to definitely come down to the kicker with the last minute field goal. And
It's going to be Josh Allen pick 6. Oh.
so, I mean, it's definitely a tough game. Definitely a tough game. But the Saints, I don't know. I think it's the Trevor Simeon. He's been playing great football. So he's been playing great football so far. And not having the weapons that we usually see them there with. Alvin Kamara has taken the load of most of the yardage there. But
It's true.
man, this one is definitely hard to call. It's definitely hard to call because there's a lot of intangibles here. It's a lot of intangibles here. So, but I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think the Bills is gonna pull one off, and they're gonna be 7-4 going into the next week.
I hope not. Oh.
But Sunday games. The Sunday games we're gonna get pretty much. We're gonna go through these very quickly. We got the Buccaneers and Colts.
Bucks and Colts, Bucks and Colts.
I'm gonna take the Bucks on this one. I'm gonna take the Bucks. I think the Bucks has been suffering without the need of Antonio Brown and Gronk here.
It's really hard for me. Tampa Bay is favored by 3. And right now, it's really hard when we're in November and we're getting late in the season and you need one thing to win. It's called a run game.
Yeah,
And you have this man named Jonathan Taylor, who I just love watching, by the way. I love watching this kid run the ball. He's just a talent. It's just gross to watch, but who's going to stop Jonathan Taylor? And it's funny because when Derrick Henry's back, you have arguably 2 of the best running backs in the league in the same division.
yeah.
That's gross.
So you got the Colts. You got
I
the Colts.
do. I am
Okay.
going to take the Colts to upset TB12 and the Bucks at home, and I think it's going to be behind another big day from good old JT. I'm going to take the Colts by 10.
Okay. I'm going to take the Bucks by 7. I'm gonna take the Bucks by 7. It's going to be very difficult for Tom Brady. Tom Brady has been having a difficult November so far. He's been having a difficult November. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I think the Bucks is definitely going to come out on top. That's going to be another team who actually knocks the rust off and start winning again. Um, Next 1 o'clock game is the Jets versus the Texans.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Pump the brakes. I just remembered something. Hidden stat of the day. We gotta throw this down. When was the last time Tom Brady lost 3 games, and how many times has he lost 3 games in his career? 3 games straight.
It's never. I don't think he's ever lost 3 games in a row.
One time, 2004.
Right.
Let's say that date again. 2004.
Yeah.
I gotta take that back. It's gonna be a big day for Jonathan Taylor, but TB12 ain't losing 3 straight tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I lose on that one.
Yeah. I just don't see Tom Brady losing 3 games in a row.
I forgot about that little hidden thing.
I just don't see it. And I guess we'll see what happens. If you do lose 3 in a row, somebody's getting fired today.
We'll be talking about that.
But the next game is Jets versus Texans. This is a no-brainer. I'm gonna go with the Texans. Tyrod Taylor is back, and I think he's definitely going. This is going to be the game where the Texans can bounce back and actually, save the season a little bit.
Yeah, I think Houston wins that one easy. I wouldn't say easy in the sense of a blowout, but I think they're going to be able to do what they want when they want. Like when the time matters, they'll be able to capitalize. Get some touchdowns. They're favored by 2.5. I could see them winning, by 7.
Ready? Yeah, I got the Texans winning. Not sure about how much do I really want them to win by, but I definitely think Tyrod Taylor is going to get this team together and start winning again. We have a divisional game, which is the Eagles versus the Giants. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Eagles off the sole purpose of Jalen Hurts is starting to play great football. He's scratched the surface, and he's definitely trending right now as far as top 32 quarterbacks in the league right now. We're gonna talk about that during the Magpies rap sheet, quarterback rap sheet. I think right now Jalen Hurts is definitely Jalen Hurts will definitely get this win today against the Giants at home.
Honestly, yeah, I think so. Philly's favored by 3. It looks like they're on the road, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Well, they in MetLife.
Dang. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Philly. Hurts to have a nice big day. This Giants team looks very dysfunctional. In my mind, Joe Judge is on the hot seat.
Yep. And here's where it gets good at. The Panthers versus the Dolphins in
Dun,
Miami.
dun, dun. Oh. So, as many of you know, I was there 2 weeks ago. And let me tell you, just the things that I see from this team over the last 3 weeks. They're starting to play defense, actually. They're starting to execute the game plan better. We're holding teams under 20 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
And when it looks like, compared to last year, you go back, you look, when Miami holds people under 20, they increase their chances to win pretty significantly. Javon Holland's starting to break out, becoming right now he's a top 10 safety in the NFL as a rookie. He is number 9 in the NFL as a rookie. Kid is a star. And not only can he track that ball, he can lay you out. He has that hammer. Like, I didn't know it was there, but it came out the last couple games, and man, I love watching this kid. Him and Howard on the back end, pretty gross. Obviously, you still have Jones over there. Corners are kind of having an off year. It isn't, the typical, lockdown
It,
that you want.
it happens. It happens.
But yeah, and this is the NFL.
It happens. And I think that the secondary would be okay. I think they would be fine. I just think they just need to they need to look at the last game, see what they did wrong, and they got to roll
Yep.
with the punches, for the next game.
Yep.
I really like this matchup because this matchup is very interesting.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have Cam Newton versus Tua. You have the Panthers linebacker core versus the Miami linebacker core. You have the
Mhm.
secondary, Dante Jackson and Stephen Gilmore with Byron Jones, Javon Holland, and the X-Men.
Yep.
So everything about this game is definitely worth watching. But I'm sorry I have to do this, but I don't see Cam losing 2 games in a row.
Oh, it's
I don't
happening.
see Cam. I don't see Cam losing 2 games in a row. So
So,
I'm going to take the Panthers by 3.
so I'm sorry that you did that. It's okay though. So this is the beginning of a nice long home stretch for Miami. They're home this week. We're home next week against, I believe, the Giants. And then either after that Giants game, we have the bye, I do believe, and then we're home against the Jets
Mm.
before we travel to the Saints Monday night. So we're about to be home for over a week, or excuse me, a month, 4 weeks. That's just what this team needs. They've won 3 straight. They're at 4-7. We're literally a game and a half out of the playoffs when we started 1-7. It's kind of hard to say that. Historically, this is when Brian Flores teams start to hit their stretch and get hot. And when I say that, I don't say it lightly. I put it in terms of, let me pull this up real quick. I saw these this week, and I had a feeling he was good when it mattered, but I didn't realize that he was this good when it mattered. And not only him, but let's talk about Tua real quick while I find this. We only have 4 quarterbacks in the NFL who've had multiple games of 80+% completion percentage on a minimum of 10
Mm.
attempts this season.
Okay.
Can you name those 4 quarterbacks?
No.
Obviously, Tua's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones, Dak Prescott, and Kyler Murray.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones in those games, so it looks like they've each had about 2 of them. Yeah, all 4 had 2 games. So of those 2 games, Mac Jones had 4 touchdowns. Dak Prescott had 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray had 3 touchdowns. And Tua had 6 touchdowns. So, right there, the kid's playing at a very high level this year with one of the worst lines, if not the worst line in the NFL, who gives up the most pressures than anybody, except he only has a sack rate, if I remember correctly, of it's either 6.8 or 8.6%, which is like top 5 in the league for like not getting sacked. So Tua's making this line better than what it is. Well, then when we go down here, he was pretty much perfect on the blitz last week against the Jets. In the fourth quarter this year, since week 6, since week 6, Tua has been 37 to 49. So I think pretty much during this winning stretch, 37 to 49, so 75% passing, 458 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 114.2. In the fourth, since week 6, all those ratings in the yards, he leads the NFL. His rating is 5th. So this kid's starting to slowly peak and do what we need to do. Now, here we go. Here's the Brian Flores stuff for you guys. The Dolphins are 15-6 in games played after Halloween since Brian Flores became the head coach. The Dolphins haven't won 2 AFC East road games in a season since 2016. That was the year they made the playoffs. Well, we just this year have now won 2 AFC East road games. Our first win of the season and last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins have now won 7 of their last 8, 3 in a row against the Jets. Last November and this November, Brian Flores is 7-1. The Dolphins didn't allow a sack last week, which is the second time this season that they haven't allowed a sack. And it's the 6th game in a row that defense has held teams under 400 total yards. So when it matters most, late in the season, November, December, going into January, this is when the Miami Dolphins and Brian Flores start to peak. And you see him riding high. Well, we just played one of, if not the best mobile quarterback in the league Thursday night 2 weeks ago. And what happened to Lamar when he came to town? His lowest point total ever as a starting quarterback in the NFL at 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
This defense is ready for another mobile quarterback, Mr. Cam Newton, who we already played twice last year, which he split the games, and then we didn't play him this year because Mac took the job from him.
I think this is a different Cam Newton, though.
Oh, he's more lax. He's way more lax.
I think that him being in Carolina right now is where he needs to be at. He has the comfort of his old home. He has his fans that still love him. He has some of the players that he's still familiar with. So right now, there's no excuse for him to not play his best. Now you do have a different system. You don't have Scott Turner there. You don't have Ron Rivera. You got Matt Rule. You have his coaching staff, but you have Christian McCaffrey there. So, I think Cam Newton will do his best. But one thing that I'm very interested to see is what Tua will we get. What Tua will we get on Sunday? Will we get the Tua that we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks? Where he has been the best that we've seen him all season, or will we get week 1 through 5 to it, where things has
where he has broken ribs and he doesn't play for 3-4 games straight.
Exactly.
Honestly, Cam's gonna play good. I don't discredit that at all, but I think the way that this team's playing, just the way that we're playing right now, the way the defense is running around, making plays, causing turnovers, we're gonna come out and I think we're gonna punch Carolina in the mouth. I don't think they're gonna be ready for it. I'm hoping that we can continue the good run defense that we've had over the past couple weeks. We put Zach Seiler in there with Christian Wilkins. And it's hard to run up the middle there. It really is. Zach Seiler, I believe, is like the 6th rated run-stopping lineman in the league behind literally Aaron Donald, Calais Campbell, pretty much the top 5 premier guys. And then number 6 is Zach Seiler. So it's like we got some guys in there. Jerome Baker's playing at a crazy high level this year. Like he ran down Lamar 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy. I did not expect that. Like there's
Yeah.
times I'm like, there's no way Bakers should be out in coverage, but then he, surprises me with some things that he does. He's definitely a lot faster than I should probably give him credit for.
Yeah, definitely. So, what is your prediction for this game,
So
Panthers and Dolphins?
last week, my prediction for the game, obviously, I predicted the victory. Everything was cool. I said Tua was going to throw 3 touchdowns and an interception, and he was going to throw for 265 yards passing. Well, he threw 2 touchdowns and 1 interceptions and 273. So that was pretty close last week. So I'm going to go out here. We're going to get the victory. We're going to continue the streak because we're looking to get to 7-7 going into that Monday night against New Orleans. Because realistically, it's very possible. We can beat the
Okay.
Panthers. We can beat the Giants. We can beat the Jets and put us right back at 500 with 3 to play. So, Tua's going to come out. He's going to have, after having some nice home cooking, having Jalen Waddle come over, having the boys over for Thanksgiving, throwing some pies around. They're going to be all happy, ready to go. He's going to come out on Sunday. He's going to throw for over 300. He's going to throw for 310. He's going to give me those 3 touchdowns. He's not going to have a pick this week. And Mike Gesicki's getting 2 of those touchdowns, 130 yards receiving, and Miami's winning by 14.
Okay.
Off of some defensive turnovers, too, of course.
All right. Okay. All right. We got 3 games that we really want to take a look at. We're gonna give the predictions for those, and then we're gonna do upset of the week. We have Titans versus Patriots, Steelers versus Bengals, and Rams versus Packers. And we have a wild card game, Falcons versus 49ers. So the Titans and Patriots game, of course, I'm going with Mac Jones. I think that Mac Jones has definitely been better than what we all expected him to be. I think he's definitely, rookie of the year, if you ask me.
So, I'm going to keep it simple. Any of the rookie quarterbacks in this year's draft wind up in New England, and they're playing as well as Mac Jones right now. Why? Because you have a good offensive line. You have a run game. And you have a defense that can carry you.
I think there's some guys who just aren't on the Belichick level, and I think Mac Jones was put in a great situation where you don't have the elite guys, but you have the guys who's able to do the job, followed by the defense that you have, and that's what the Patriots is. Their offense, they don't have a lot of elite guys there. I don't even think they have any elite guys on that offense. They just got guys who can go out there and play every week and scratch the surface.
No, they have a talented line that keeps him upright and allows him to make plays.
Yeah, that too.
That's the difference. And then they do have, Kendrick Bourne. They do have Jonnu Smith. They do have Hunter Henry. They do have some guys you can get that ball to. They have these running backs who are coming out, making solid plays, doing what they need to do. Like, that's what New England does. They run the ball, they play good defense, and then it allows their quarterback to make throws. Like, if you can fit into that system and be okay with that, you're going to play well all the time, and that's Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Mac Jones doesn't want to have to do it all. At times you can just see he's lazy.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Patriots by 5.
I unfortunately am going to take the Patriots in this game for the safe pick just because of how Tennessee's been playing lately. They have not been playing well, um, which sucks. Last week you saw the rescending my like late Miami or early Miami Dolphin Ryan Tannehill. Like you didn't see the resurging Ryan Tannehill last week. Like he looked absolutely terrible. But
Hmm.
it's because they're asking him to do too much. When you don't have a run game and you ask the quarterback to do everything, it makes it easy for the defense to know what's going on. You know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but who knows? Maybe Mike Vrabel comes in and has a game plan. If anybody knows and understands Belichick, it'd be Vrabel. So
Alrighty.
we'll see. I'm going to take the Patriots, unfortunately, to match the points of -7.
Oh, okay. All right. Steelers at Bengals. As you know, the Steelers has been looking a little bit rough, and let's just be honest right now. Joe Burrow looks like that ACL tear last year did not affect him at all
Nope.
because he is playing phenomenal right now.
Top-notch
He's playing.
football.
He's top notch. I think right now, and he's definitely in the conversation of being a top 10 quarterback in the league right now. Having Jamar Chase there, having his wide receiver there definitely did help that out a lot. So I think right now I have the Bengals in this one only for the sole fact of the Bengals that's just playing great football on both sides, on offense and
Yep.
defense.
Yep. I totally agree with you 100%. The Steelers are kind of fumbling around. Big Ben I don't think he played last week because he wasn't feeling well or injury or something. And, you have nothing after Big Ben. Steelers fans, get it through your head. You have nothing after Big Ben.
Yeah.
This dude leaves, you guys are terrible for the next couple of years. I
Yeah.
don't care how good a defense you got. Defense will only take you so far without an offense moving the football. So, man, and then Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon,
T.
Tyler
Higgins.
Boyd, T. Higgins. That offense, they got it going on, man. They are definitely sparking some greatness out of good old Smoking Joe. And right now, Cincinnati's favored by 4. We watched this Bengals team beat up on this Steelers team a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen again. This Bengals team is ready for this moment. They're ready to try to take this division. I think the Bengals, unless Baltimore starts to put something together, like Miami knocked something out of them because they have not looked really well since they snuck out last week, last minute. Lamar being hurt, I don't understand what's going on with Lamar, his sickness. I don't know. But if the Ravens don't get back on track, it's Cincinnati's division to take.
I
So
agree.
I'm taking the Bengals by 14.
All right. We got the Rams versus the Packers. I got to go with Aaron Rodgers on this one. I have to go on Aaron Rodgers with this one. Aaron Rodgers has right now, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Last week in the press conference, he took off his shoe to show them that he has a fractured foot. He literally took off his sock
I saw
and
that.
showed. Yeah, it was just like he knows. He's like, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
He's so goofy, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's why the players love him. Like he's just
He's just real.
he's unordinary. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where with this game, I think that it's gonna be tough for Sean McVay. I think we've officially seen that you can't buy yourself a championship. That's what is happening in LA right now. They thought that maybe if they brought over Von Miller, and brought in other few guys, maybe you can buy yourself a championship. And honestly, you can't beat Tom Brady. You can't do what Bruce Arians does. So right now, I got Green Bay winning this by 7.
So the Rams are favored by a point.
Wow. Wow.
That's crazy to me. It's crazy. Oh man, I think it's gonna be a hell of a football game. Unless there's some snowstorm I'm unaware of coming into Green Bay and the Rams have to play in the snow, then we're in for a hell of a football game on Sunday afternoon. I have a feeling we're gonna have a nice shootout. The Rams offense is just too potent, dude. Cooper Kupp is on another
Mhm.
level this year. As good as everyone's saying Devontae Adams is and the level he plays at, Cooper Kupp only almost has 1,200 yards receiving this season.
That's what you expect with with a guy like Devontae Adams. But Cooper Cup has just been playing phenomenal. He's played phenomenal last season.
Mm-hmm.
Barring the injury, I believe he did sustain the injury last season, but he still had great numbers last season, and it's just great to see him being able to bounce back and still produce the numbers that he did last season as well.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I just don't think that they will overcome Green Bay on Sunday. I think that they would get beat out by 7 points. I think Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers does best, and
Mm-hmm.
that's that discount
Yeah,
double.
right. So I think it's going to come down to how's the ball last. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Let me see here. They're
It's
saying
going.
that they're saying the over under is going to be 47. So they're saying both these teams are going to score about 20 some points.
I think it's going to be interesting because I think we're going to see Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers go at it without being in the same division. So it's definitely going to be very interesting.
I think we could see a 31-28 final with Green Bay walking off with a field goal.
All right. Okay. Wild card game. I did switch to wild card game at the last minute. Seahawks versus Washington Monday. I got it. So here's the thing, right? What's the spread for the Washington game on Monday?
Washington's favored by 1.5 points.
Okay, Washington's favored by 1.5. Here's my take: Washington will win this game by 10 points.
So I hate to do it to you, bud, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. It's going to be one of those games, you know what you said about your boy Cam Newton earlier. You don't see him losing two straight. Well, I think there's a way better quarterback coming to town, and his name's Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He came off that injury, against Green Bay, playing in the snow last week. The kitchen was still under construction. He couldn't do the cooking. But let me tell you, there's no more construction going on, bud. He's about to do some cooking this weekend.
All right. So here's my take on this. Right. Here's my take on this is that when you look at Washington, you look at how can they overcome the Seahawks on Monday. Here's how: Logan Thomas will be available to play. Will be available to play. So that's the extra weapon that Taylor Heineke has that was very much missed throughout the season, throughout the last 2.5 months. Not having Logan Thomas, that midfield red zone pass, those touchdowns that we missed. Logan Thomas hasn't been not being there. It takes away from the production overall. So with Logan Thomas being available, I think now it's going to be easier for Taylor Heineke to easily go through the middle and just know for a fact that Logan Thomas, is going to go up and grab it for the touchdown. Curtis Samuel is also slated to come back as well. So that, like I said, that'll be another weapon that'd be on the field for Taylor Heineke. And seeing how DeAndre Carter has stepped up in the last month, with him being overall productive as a slot receiver, and also Terry McLaurin. I don't have to go, into
We know who Terry is.
details. Yeah, we know who Scary Terry is. We know who he is. So with Curtis Samuel, definitely slated to come back. I think that'd be another offensive weapon for Taylor Heineke. We got Adam Humphries, who's actually for sure hands. We got Cam Sims. Just that wide receiver core isn't the best, but they definitely get the job done. They have been getting the job done, so I can't really, take them out of that. Um, One thing that I do want to put some light on is that Scott Turner has been calling great plays in those last 3 weeks, against Denver, against the Buccaneers, and against the Panthers. He's been calling all the right plays. Has been putting the offense in the right situations to win games and close out games. So I think Washington would definitely come on top. Right now, Seattle, I'm not counting them out because, like you said, you don't know what Russell Wilson is going to come through the doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if we're able to keep Cam Newton neutralized just a little bit, I think we're able to neutralize Russell Wilson. I think we just need to keep Russell Wilson off the field. We need to keep him off the field as much as possible, and not allow Russell Wilson to stretch the field out. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, those guys are phenomenal in their own rights. But I think that this secondary, along with these linebackers that'll be covering the middle, which is what Tyler Lockett is actually known for, those middle passes. I think that Jamin Davis has been playing superb in November as well.
Mm-hmm.
The way he has been playing against Tom Brady, the way he's been playing against Cam Newton. I just think that overall, I think that this is a whole different team than what we used to seeing a month ago. You know, this is a completely different team. I think after the bye week, I think it was Ron Rivera's way of saying the time for play is over. We need to start winning games, and just with everything that has been going on so far with the scandals and things like that, it has been sort of a distraction. But I
Mm-hmm.
think right now, with them bringing Joey Sly in, Joey Sly has solidified that kicker position. So I think that everything is slowly coming together, slowly but surely. So I think we're gonna take Seattle for their money. So and we're at
See,
home, and we're at
so
home.
what's funny is I just sold you the same thing you're trying to sell me, but you told me it wasn't good enough.
What, against the Dolphins?
Yeah, that's the same thing I just sold to you.
I didn't say that you guys couldn't win. I didn't say you guys couldn't win though. The difference is I just the thing with Cam Newton is Cam Newton. You don't know what Cam Newton you're gonna get, right?
I
You don't
know.
know what Cam Newton you're gonna get. You can get the Patriots Belichick Cam Newton to come into Miami, which
That'd be
isn't
great.
bad, but isn't good as well,
I
right?
know.
But you can also get this Cam Newton that we seen last week, where he got a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, and just him hesitating on that last play to stretch the downs out,
Yep.
it cost them the game. But despite that one play, Cam Newton has played great last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all about, again, what Cam Newton is going to walk through those doors in Miami. But um, you know me, I never counted the Dolphins out. I never count the Dolphins out. I think the Dolphins is in a great situation right now, just like we've been talking about with the Washington football team, where right now we're on a slate to win 3 games in a row. We knocked off the Buccaneers. We knocked off the Panthers.
Yep.
We knock off the Seahawks. We got the Raiders next week. We knock them off. We have the Dallas to look forward to. And
Mm-hmm.
we beat Dallas. We'll be number one in the division. That's the catch right now. That's the catch 22. But it's all about just looking ahead every week.
Yep.
Just focusing on that one opponent and
Yep.
just going week to week. And right now, the Seahawks, I think we're gonna knock them off, and then we're gonna go into Las Vegas.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like it.
Win, baby.
I totally. I totally see what you're saying, and I totally understand what you're saying. That's why I get where you're coming from. Like there's just teams they just start turning that corner. And like you said about Cam, it's kind of the same thing with Russ, except for with Russ, we all know at the high level he can play, and he hasn't gotten there since coming back from this injury. I don't know if it'll be that game tomorrow or Monday night, but if he does, which I mean Monday night has a way of bringing those stars out. Like, you guys could definitely very well find yourself into quite the battle on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Like, like you said, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're both top 20 in the NFL in receiving yards. I think Lockett's like top 10. So it's like you got some things to worry about. But I think ultimately, if you guys come out and do what you said, you guys run the ball and take your time moving it down the field and take long, sustaining drives, you will keep Russell Wilson and that offense off the field, and that'll
Mhm.
give your best chance to win that game. If you guys come out of there with that victory going into next week at 5-6, you guys very well have a chance to continue your race back into the postseason. That's just, again, that's kind of the same thing we're looking at over there with the Miami side of things. It's crazy. That's because there's only 3 teams. Wait, how many of you guys won 2 straight?
Yep.
Right.
Too short. Hmm.
So the damn it, I need to try to find this. There's 3 teams in the NFL that have long win streaks. Okay, can you tell me the 3 teams?
Washington
Long
Dolphins,
longer than 2, so 3 or more.
the Patriots,
Yep, Patriots at 5.
the Patriots, the Bengals.
Nope. The Bengals have only won 1 straight. So I didn't. Actually, there's 2 teams tied at 3, which is funny. So Miami's won 3 straight. The Colts have won 3 straight. Kansas City's won 4 straight, and the Patriots have won 5 straight.
Mm.
Like, those are some of the hottest teams in the league right now. Obviously, you have a couple teams winning 2 straight. Philly, Washington, Minnesota, and the 49ers. So you do kind of have some, again, some teams getting hot. This is the time when it matters. This is when you want your team to start getting better and hitting that peak form to make that push for the postseason. So, ultimately, I think that, you guys definitely have a chance at winning. You're favored by 1 at home. Just have this odd feeling that Russell Wilson's going to ruin your guys' parade.
Let's. I hope not.
I'm taking Seahawks by 7.
All right, I'm taking Washington by 14.
Oh
That's what I'm
man,
doing.
he said it's up. It's going down.
All right, so while we're talking about football, we're going to talk about this quarterback rap sheet. Okay.
Hey.
Right now, who are the quarterbacks trending? Who are the quarterbacks trending right now? At number 1, of course, the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, his bye week was on week 9. Right now, he has 3,100 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And he has a rushing touchdown. He has 51 yards in rushing throughout the whole season so far. All right.
This guy.
And then, of course, you have number 2. Can you guess who's the number 2 quarterback right now, the trending?
Mac Jones.
No. It's none other than the Hurt Man himself, Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh.
Last week he was 5th as far as trending. Right now he has 2,300 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, 618 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns. His bye week is week 14. So right now he's looking on the up and up. To possibly get this win, and then get this win. He play another game, and then he's on the bye week.
It's good.
And number 3, Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was number 2 last week. Now he is.
Sorry.
He is number 3. 3,200 passing yards exactly. 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 238 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. And we have number 4, which is Josh Allen himself.
Yep.
He's at the same ranking as he was last week. He has 2,811 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, 340 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. And number 5 is the Bolt Man himself, Justin Herbert, at number 5. Last week he was at number 7. He has 2,900 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions.
That kid's so good. He's just so good.
Yeah, it's crazy when we see him, right? So the bottom five is Lamar Jackson of the Ravens with 14 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and 2 rushing touchdowns. And Matt Stafford is trending right now. He was number 6 last week. He is number 7 this week with 3,000 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. That's Matt Stafford for you guys, right?
It's true.
And we have Captain Kirk at number 8. Captain Kirk Cousins himself for the Minnesota Vikings. Last week he was at 10. This week he's at number 8. 2,700 passing yards with 21 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins, but this guy's got it.
He's taking care of the ball.
Yeah, this guy's got it. Right behind him is A-Rod himself with the Green Bay Packers. Last week he was at number 9. He's still at number 9. 2,500 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions.
It's crazy.
Two rushing touchdowns, -4 receiving yards, and 76 rushing yards. Wow. I had to throw that in there. It's that -4 receiving yards. I actually remember that play exactly. It was crazy. That was a fail-safe play. And here at number 10 is Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals. With 2,200 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 3 rushing touchdowns for 147 yards. Notable mentions is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow at number 12 for 2,600 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Tua Tagovailoa, which he is at. One second. I'm sorry. Tua is not listed on this. He's actually an honorable mention. Tua is an honorable mention right now. And listed at number 17 is the Heineke man himself, Taylor Heineke, for the Washington football team. He was slated at 20. He is now at 17 with 2,300 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 276 rushing yards, and a touchdown. So
sad days. Oh,
I mean, you gotta love Taylor Heineke. Like, Taylor Heineke. I'm not going to give too much on Taylor Heineke. Don't want to really sound like a homer, but Taylor Heineke is definitely here to stay.
He can play football, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's definitely much better than what we all expected him to be.
Oh yeah.
After watching the showdown with Tom Brady last year in the playoffs, people thought it was a fluke, but then you seen again the redemption game against Tom Brady, and he came out on top.
Yep.
So it's a great thing to see.
Really all right. Shows you guys
moving on from football, we're gonna go quick with some basketball. We're gonna talk a little bit about this LeBron and Isaiah Stewart altercation that happened.
Oh boy.
So apparently, what happened was LeBron threw an elbow to Isaiah Stewart, and Isaiah Stewart just lost it. I don't like when I say he lost it. It was crazy. It was crazy because you never seen an NBA player go crazy like that since Shaq.
Yeah,
since Shaq. When Shaq lost his cool and was he couldn't be stopped by nobody. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, but I think this right here was just I understand. You got hit in the elbow. LeBron did throw his elbow. It got physical. It got physical in the box. LeBron threw his elbow. I don't think it was intentional. He did throw his elbow, but I don't think he intended it for it to hit his eye. And Isaiah Stewart just lost it. Isaiah Stewart lost it. I'm not saying that he was wrong for reacting the way he reacted, but there's certain things you don't do. You don't put your hands on an official. You don't knock the coaching staff down. You don't lose it like that. You lost your cool, and this is a lesson. This is a lesson: is when you at work, there's certain things that you don't do at work. It's true. There's certain things that you don't do at work, and what he did was just a poor sign of sportsmanship.
Yep.
And not saying that he's completely wrong. I mean, nobody wants to get hit in the eye with the elbow, and him being as bloody as he is. But
Right.
I mean, once the officials grab you, then you go to the locker room, right?
Yep. Yep.
You don't shove the officials down on the ground, and you push your coaches aside to try to get your hands on LeBron. You just don't do things like that,
It's true.
and I think LeBron did get fined. He did get suspended for a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yep. And then he came back and they won in overtime last night. Ah ha 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 ha. Oh,
yeah, yeah. This altercation was crazy because we've seen a bunch of fights in the NBA, right?
oh,
From the
oh
Nate
yeah.
Robinson and Carmelo Anthony
Yep.
to the Shaq and Charles Oakley to we've seen to the Meta World Peace, Ron Artest and the
Oh
fan.
my God.
We've
Yes.
seen we've seen a lot of altercations in the NBA, but I don't think we've seen anything that was
Nothing like that.
of this caliber. Like this guy he was really trying to kill LeBron. Like I mean, like once he got to the locker room tunnel, he turned around to try to run back to LeBron. It was like, like, dude, you gotta relax a little bit. Relax. Breathe. So I don't know. It's not the first time he's actually was in an altercation either. He was in an altercation with Giannis. He was in an
True.
altercation with Giannis at one point, but it ended up a little bit differently. Giannis stepped up to him, was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And he kind of like backed off. So I'm not sure like what was this end game here, So um, again, let this be a lesson. Just let this be a lesson. I think
uh,
LeBron. The thing about LeBron, which is what I caught, is it's like one of those things where you know what you did, right? You know what you did, so
right.
don't try to act nonchalant about it. And I think that's what Isaiah Stewart was mainly mad about. Is LeBron was like, "What happened? I don't know what happened. What happened?" It's like, you know what happened. Like you know what happened. You threw your elbow and you didn't mean for it to hit him in his eye, but it did. At least acknowledge, that you
But
did
you
what you
messed
did.
up.
Yeah, like you messed up. And once they went over it and looked at the film, it was point as day. He threw his elbow, and he got fined, and he did get suspended for a game. So honestly, I never thought I'd see LeBron get suspended for a game, but
Dude, first game in his career.
yeah, first game of his career of being suspended. So um, again, lesson to be learned. You might be the GOAT, but you still be suspended. I don't think I've seen Tom Brady suspended yet. So
Shit's crazy, dude.
didn't he get suspended for the deflate gate?
I thought so.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, um, that was crazy. NBA early playoff predictions. Right now, it's looking a little bit easy for the West. The I don't know. It just seems like the West is playing better basketball this season than the East. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it differently. Because right now the Nets are on top in the East with 14-5. The Heat is 12-7. Bulls are 12-7. Wizards 11-7. Hornets is 12-8. Bucks is 11-8. Knicks is 10-8. 76ers, Hawks, and Celtics are 10-9. So Hawks. I mean, the Celtics just lost their game last night. I think by 20 by Brooklyn.
You know them boys. Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
But
But
you guys riding that high, You guys just beat the Lakers the other night. You guys were,
didn't just beat trampled.
Anyway,
I mean
you
triple
just
team.
got a victory, over the Lakers. Everything was all cookies and cream. You're all like, yeah, we're doing good. Hang on, wait, when was that? Sunday? No, when was that? I watched that game. Wow. There it was, last Friday, yeah. Last Friday, you guys smoked them. You're riding high. So then you go to Saturday and you beat up on the Thunder and you're doing good. And then you get Sunday off. And then we go to Monday and you beat the Rockets. Then you have Tuesday off. Like, all right, sweet. Let's go play the Nets. They're like, sorry, y'all can't hang. Oh, okay. Ah!
So here is a look at if the NBA playoffs started today. If the NBA playoffs started today, this is what it would look like. The Eastern Conference, then the matchups with the Western Conference. We got Brooklyn at Philadelphia, Golden State at Memphis, Miami at the Knicks, Phoenix at Los Angeles, Chicago at Milwaukee, Utah at Portland, Washington at Charlotte, and Dallas in LA.
That's crazy.
And you got Atlanta, Boston, and Cleveland, Toronto with the lottery bound, and Denver, Minnesota, Sacramento, and Oklahoma City lottery bound as well. Um, what's crazy is people in DC, like some people like look at me crazy when they realize that I'm not a Wizards fan, right?
It's
I'm
true.
not a Wizards fan. I'm not a Wizards fan. I respect the Wizards,
Right.
because they're still a home team. So I gotta respect them, even if they're not, even if I'm not a fan of theirs, right? But one thing I can say is Wes Unseld Jr. has came in and really, really like I don't know what it is, but it seems like he implemented a game plan. He implemented a culture there, in the Capital One Arena, and it's starting to show.
It's true.
With the Wizards right now, they're just on a high. They're on a high right now. They're on a high streak. They're number 4 in the East right now. They're 11-7. They have lost two straight so far. They've lost two straight so far. So they do have a game tomorrow against the Thunder. Then they play against the Mavericks. They play against the Mavericks on Saturday. So they have two back to back games. They have two back to back games. They play in Oklahoma, then they play in in Dallas. So it's going to be a little tough because you have to travel and then you have to come back. Then you have to go back. Then you have to play the Spurs in Texas again. Then you have to go back to home on Wednesday at the Capital One Arena. So uh, just traveling throughout the holidays and traveling after the holidays, and then having to come back home, after being on the road for so long. It's I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult, but like I said, Wes Unseld Jr. He really has been shaping up this Wizards team, for the best of their ability. I mean, they got top quality guys. Even when Scott Brooks was there, they got some okay guys, they got some key guys, but they didn't get those guys right. Like
Right.
you see Kyle Kuzma,
Yep.
Montrezl Harrell,
Yep.
KCP.
Yep.
You see these guys there on the team. Then with everybody centered around Bradley Beal, the actual star of the team.
Yes.
It's great to see that because now we get to see Bradley Beal really step out and take on that leadership role and that star level talent.
Yep.
So, Willie, can he reach an elite status if he's not there already? I think we will see that by the end of the season.
I like what I see from this Wizards team. It's definitely been the surprise of the season so far. Seeing them be up there, one of the best teams in the East. That was definitely
And they've been dominant. That's
yeah, yeah.
like
They're
you
not
can
they're
you
not
can just
scraping by.
win.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You can just win games and be okay, like the Rockets. But but I think this is a different group here. I think this is a different group, and right now I think that they're playing their best basketball. Yes, they did lose two in a row, but I think that that streak will be snapped tomorrow against the Thunder,
Yep.
and they can go to Dallas and also win again. Win again. So I guess we'll see.
I
Mavericks
think
is number
the
4 as well right now.
I think the OKC game for sure, and then I think that Dallas game is going to be a battle for them. I think that'll be a nice test the way that Dallas is playing right now. Porzingis actually looks pretty good again. I've been a huge critic of the guy. Like, he's literally, excuse me, the missing piece for Luka and the Mavs to be a dominant threat in the West. And the dude just never shows up. But now I've watched him the last couple games, and I mean, he's got his shot back. He's making threes. He's making plays, getting rebounds. I'm like, okay, where's this been? So I think he's finally getting healthy, and it's like if Luka can continue to stay healthy. I know he kind of had an injury thing there for a minute. I think he came back. Those two being healthy together down the stretch is super important. Like Luka is such a dominant force.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about is this Warriors team, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
The Warriors has just playing great. They've been playing great on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Steve Kerr has been coaching, immaculate right now. So right now the Warriors are on the up and up. They are number one in the West and number one overall. And right now it looks like them and the Suns are the teams to beat right now.
Oh,
They are the team. They are the teams to beat. And right now, these two teams aren't no slouch. When you come to play these guys, you gotta tighten up your gym shorts and really, 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 really get your elbows dirty. You know what I'm saying? So, no pun intended with LeBron.
I think I think we all have to be understanding and realize that this Warriors team isn't gone. Everyone wanted to say that Warriors dynasty is over. This Warrior team isn't out of this yet. This is a super solid squad, and they don't even have Klay Thompson yet, who just got cleared, by the way, to return to practice 100%. So it'll be, I think, the week of or week before Christmas is they're trying to get him timeline of his return should be then to the court. If you get a solid Klay Thompson back who gives you 20 a night, good luck.
Absolutely.
Like it's already disgusting enough having to guard Curry, and with Wiggins playing at a high level finally. You got the defense of Gary Payton, this Jordan Poole guys starting to kind of pop off. Like, this team looks good. Like, people need to watch out down the stretch. It's going to be hard beating this team in a 7-game series because Steve Kerr knows how to coach.
I agree. Before we let you guys go, Condor, I want to actually ask you, MVP end of the season. Who do you think is worthy of the MVP trophy right now? That's kind of a no-brainer, but
honestly, so I got two guys, and they might be kind of interesting for you on it. So, oh man, I have to say, obviously Curry's up there. I have three guys. So Curry's one. So my two would probably be they're there, but they're not there. LaMelo Ball, like the kid. He's a great scorer, but he finds ways to win games. He finds ways to make his team better. If a shot's off, he'll play defense and assist and make plays for his team. Like, that's what you want. And number 3, DeMar DeRozan. Because that Chicago team's good, Zach LaVine, whatever. DeMar DeRozan just beat a Michael Jordan record for most points in the first 15 games of the season. He broke one of MJ's records. Like, DeRozan's playing on another level right now, and that's also what's fueling that Chicago team.
Can it be because of the presence of that three-headed dragon that they have in Chicago?
Yep.
I can give you that. My MVP is, of course, Seth Curry. Notable mentions. I'm just gonna throw this out here. You might look at me crazy when I say this.
Oh God, Jaylen Brown. Here we go. Oh.
No, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, that's true.
Jason Tatum and Ja Morant.
I can see Ja. Yep.
Yeah, I just like Ja Morant right now. He's just been very vocal. He's actually taken that leadership role very well. He's just being vocal on the court, on the sidelines, in the locker room. He's just been very vocal, trying to get his team ready for the next game and just keeping them focused, keeping them maintained.
Yes,
And he's so young.
he's so talented too.
He's so young and he's so talented. And I think he is slated to actually become an MVP, if he keeps doing what he's doing.
100%.
But MVP means most valuable player. This is what I actually want to touch bases on before we leave, because a lot of people think MVP is based off stats.
No,
It's not only based off stats. It's about which one of these players is highly efficient for their team,
Yep.
right? So, Ja Morant fits that category. Jason Tatum fits that category. DeMar DeRozan fits that category, right? So these guys fits this category, and this is why we have selected them, as the MVP right now. It is very early. It's not even All-Star. It's not even close to All-Star weekend yet.
right.
We have to get past, the Christmas week. That week is actually one of the biggest weeks in the NBA in NBA season,
Yep.
where we see some crazy matchups, during Christmas time. But it's not even All-Star weekend yet. And you would definitely that's when actually the MVP race is actually starts to be talked about, is when you actually, after the All-Star game, you start to look at who's the MVP, which one of these guys is going to the playoffs, the trade deadline. Those things definitely matter.
Yeah.
We're going to see some block. We're going to see. Everybody thought they saw blockbuster trades during the beginning of the season, but they haven't seen anything yet. There are some guys who definitely look to be traded by All-Star weekend. One of those guys is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons will definitely be traded. He will be traded to a team where he's put in the best situation possible, and you're going to see Ben Simmons bounce back.
There's reports coming out saying that Ben Simmons is broke and will be returning to the Sixers in coming days. If that's true, that kid has problems.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's all we got for you today, folks. We appreciate you guys' time and enjoy the festivities with the family. Be safe. We hope everyone has a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. And from what I know, we'll look for you guys next week.
Definitely. We'll definitely look for you guys next week. It might be the start of the Blacktop with Timaira Butler, where we're talking about basketball, everything basketball, from college basketball to NBA to WNBA.
Boom.
So make sure you guys definitely tune into that. She's been very great. Last year she did very great. This year she did very great as well with the Blacktop. So it's definitely something that you guys definitely want to tune into. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Again, I am CJ. This is Condor. And you guys have a great day.
Take it easy.